Hello, this is Brian again. Welcome to part 2 of my, yet again, Blue Jay Campground visit. I'm in Los Pinos Potrero, the Meadow part. In the springtime, this area can get pretty lit up. You also get a lot of buckwheat around here, but it looks like this buckwheat's been burnt. All the buckwheat up here, a lot of it looks like it's been burnt. It should be able to resprout. But it also looks like there's been some mowing down here. It's kind of weird. I know fire danger this year has been insane. Another reason why you haven't seen a lot of my videos, because all the national forests have been closed up until 2 days ago. I just had to get out to one today. The last time I actually filmed in this area, the Meadow, was the morning after a very light dusting of snow hit this area. That was in February 2018. I was walking along this. I was going to follow this for a while. I've walked along this a few times, but I'm not going to walk into the open fields though. This meadow can be pretty fragile habitat, so I'm just going to stick to this used trail, just follow it for a while and film. Again, today is October 11th. It's a very, very nice day today. Not at all foreshadowing what we are in for another probably at least week and a half to 2 weeks, which is probably going to be brutal heat. But just wanted to get out, at least do something. I mean I'm not doing any strenuous hiking today at all, because just really not in the mood to really do a lot of exertion today. I just wanted to get out, get in at least a spotlight on tree video, which I did. Look for that. It's about a type of hybrid oak found here in the Santa Ana Mountains. A hybrid oak. There are other ones likely here as well. Such a beautiful area out here. That's Coast Live Oak right here. It's got some acorns developing. Nice! I can tell. If you drive over towards where Long Canyon Road right now, today, when I'm speaking on this video, if you drive closer to the Falcon Group Campground area, they got a whole gang of goats gnawing on the grasses and dried forbs. I mean, a whole gang of goats. I was going to try to get some video footage of that, because, you know, I like to see animals too. I like to see trees and shrubs. I also love to see animals. And I have just been surprised. Believe it or not. Walking here just assuming, oh, there's a nice coulter pine here. This is not a coulter pine. Believe it or not, here in the Santa Ana Mountains of Orange County, I am looking at a freaking Jeffrey pine. No way. I've never been all the way to this tree before, but this is a Jeffrey pine, not even a coulter pine. Are you kidding me? I'm looking at these cones on the ground thinking to myself, these are not coulter pine cones. Believe it or not, there's a Jeffrey pine growing here. Wow, look at that. That's a Jeffrey pine cone. I swear, just about every time I come to this area or to these mountains, I get some kind of an interesting surprise. Well, this one really blew me sky high, because this is not a coulter pine. This is a Pinus Jeffrey. The first time I've ever seen anything like this here in the Santa Ana Mountains. This is a legit Jeffrey pine. Wow. Let's get a better perspective of this tree here. I have completely blown. Been over to this campground many times, but I have never, ever seen a Jeffrey pine here in the Santa Ana Mountains. Oh, this is legit. This is too cool. I mean, structurally, it looks like any other coulter pine. It's actually got really long needles on it, just like you'd expect with a coulter pine. But no, the cones in the tree, that is a Jeffrey pine. Wow. Okay, well, that was mind blown. I've never walked this far along this use trail. Come close, but never got up to that tree. I don't know. Something about that tree. I mean, it looks just like a coulter pine. It's got the shape of a coulter pine, but the cones on it say Jeffrey pine. Unless it's got some hybrid DNA in it, but I'd expect to be more intermediate characteristics, as I've seen hybrids between coulter and Jeffrey pines on a few occasions. And wow. Okay, well, mind blown. Okay, well, that was a pleasant surprise. Now I gotta go check out some of these other pines here to see what they really are. Can't just assume they're all coulter pines anymore. Okay, well, my mind is officially blown right now. Okay, these are, I can tell by the cones, these are these are coulter pines here. So I guess I'm gonna have to look more carefully when I come across an individual tree I haven't seen before. See, they're structurally basically identical. Yeah, these are coulter pines, but that tree up there was legit. Those cones are Jeffrey pine cones. Size, the shape, and the prickles. That was legit a Jeffrey pine. Yeah, I know I'm probably blabbing too much about it, but I'm kind of shook right now, in a good way, of course, because you know me, I love tree surprises. You know, seeing trees that never expected to see. I never expected ever to see a Jeffrey pine here. Believe it or not, though, I think a year or two ago, I do have dreams about being in the mountains sometimes. I'm surprised I don't have them more often, because it's basically all I think about during the day. It's almost all I think about during the day is going to the mountains, because I'm very obsessed about it. But I had a dream once that I was here somewhere in the Santa Ana Mountains, and I've had a few dreams of the Santa Ana Mountains. And in my dream, I found a grove of humongous Jeffrey pines here in the Santa Anas. Humongous Jeffrey pines, like the size of the ones you'd see in the San Bernardino Mountains and in the Sierra Nevada. Legit, I was walking around in my dreams, walking around and completely perplexed, completely mind blown. And that was a couple years ago. Maybe it was foreshadowing me finding a Jeffrey pine here. I'm not gonna lie, I'm almost like shaking. One thing you'll kind of know about me is when trees are in the equation, you know I'm really psyched out about it. I think this is the road. I think this is the road that leads over towards where I filmed the Oracle Oak Spotlight. See, there's no gate on this side here that I saw. I just walked around from Los Pinos Potrero. It's beautiful over there, I'll tell you. And came out over here. And it looks like this leads over towards where the Oracle Oak is. I don't know if I'm going to follow it all the way, but it's crazy how beautiful it is here. I'm still a little shook about that. But yeah, I've had dreams about finding, I had a dream about finding Jeffrey pines here in the Santa Ana Mountains. And I think I had a dream where I found ponderosa pines too, in another dream. And I've had dreams where I've had these really way out there adventures, trying to get towards the Santiago Peak area. And honestly, in the dream it looked completely different than what the Santa Ana Mountains really look like, but it was just like a wonderland. And shows you how much I really truly treasure being here in the Santa Ana Mountains. I mean, I get a real great vibe when I'm here. Stuff like this is why. The trees, the plants, the wildlife, of course. These beautiful coast live oaks here. And it feels like 15 degrees cooler in a shade under them too. But it's just such a beautiful area. And the coast live oak trees here are just so charismatic. You know, they do pretty well here. I can see where I'm parked way across over there. There's actually a piece of the Falcon Trail right here. Just gonna walk along. I'm still kind of stunned about that Jeffrey plant. I never expected to find one here. Yeah, I expect to. They plant incense cedars here. I guess it shouldn't be that far-fetched. But to see not expect to see a Jeffrey pine here. I mean, I've seen that tree from a distance many times because I've been in this area several times, but just never been to the tree, never saw the cones under it, never was close enough to see them. Look at these beautiful oaks. This is why I come to the mountains. Well, these trees here are also found in the lowlands too, of course. Coast live oaks, especially this variety here, variety agrifolia, Quercus agrifolia, variety agrifolia. So I don't have to go to the mountains to see them. You can see them in people's yards planted. But here, you just want to see them mixed in with a lot of our other native flora. Just another reason to come here. Wow. So yeah, I guess next time I see a pine tree, an individual pine tree that I've never seen in person before, I guess I better look at it more carefully. Look at these old oaks here. I've seen these guys before. Just so nice, old. Usually not huge trees, but they do convey an air of grandeur. So yeah, there's a tree in question. But still, the thing that still kind of nags at me is the size of the needles on that pine, because the size of the needles, those needles, I mean, Jeffrey pine needles are quite long, but I don't remember seeing them quite that long before, so that's what kind of nags at me a little bit. Looking at the tree, it's like, why are the needles so long on it? But I didn't just look at the cones on the ground, I look at the cones up in the tree, and there are plenty of cones up in the tree. Sometimes people take things from one spot, bring them to another spot, and drop them off, thinking they're being cool or whatever, I don't know, but... And I smelled the bark. I'm going to go back to that bark again. I could have sworn I smelled vanilla too. I'm going to go sniff it again. I thought I smelled vanilla. I was just kind of psyched out about this tree. I don't know. I don't know how many people out there who watch my videos. I mean, obviously people who watch my videos, at least on a somewhat regular basis, probably have some sort of interest in these things too. But I know I take it pretty far. I don't care. I love these trees. I'm gonna sniff this again, make sure I smelled the right thing. Oh yeah, clear as day. It is very sweet vanilla. So yeah, legit, this is a Jeffrey pine. Now I'm going to use this little use trail. Take a look at these guys here. And I'll show you on the next clip. I'm running out of room on here.